guess we're live now. All right.
All
Well,
right.
welcome back to the Brandon K Show.
Woo.
Welcome back to the Brandon K Show. We are live on Facebook and YouTube with past guest, my good friend, Mr. Frank.
Hey, Brandon.
Happy to have you, Frank. This
Great
is
to be
pretty
here.
awesome. I'm always happy when you join the show.
Great
And
to be here. It's great to be talking about spiritual things and about how beautiful the universe is. Too good.
that is definitely the main point of Brandon K Show, even if it gets diluted sometimes, is I'm here to talk about positivity and spirituality and having a good life and bettering ourselves and creativity and all that good stuff, which is the same thing I like to just talk about with my friends. So we talk about it whether the show is live or not live. But today I wanted to talk about creativity and music, creating music. My friend Frank and I, we create music together just for the hell of it, you know. How long have you been creating music, Frank?
Well, I've been creating music for about 40 years. I started playing guitar when I was about 19 years old. And my friends and I at college, while everybody was out getting drunk on Saturday night, we'd hang around and we'd make recordings. And we didn't really know that much about the instruments, but we knew that we liked to produce a recording that had some quality to it, that had some entertainment value to it. And we would spend the whole Saturday night just to produce a 2 or 3 minute little recording.
Some rock and roll?
It could be rock and roll. It could be a little bit avant-garde.
Nice.
We used to go for pretty edgy stuff. You know, we were brought up on Frank Zappa and Captain Beefheart.
Yeah, that's way avant-garde. All right. Yeah, just making whatever, huh?
You know, figure why make the same old thing that everybody else has already made? Why not, go for something that's, a little different and a little, got more originality. And so we started making stuff in that kind of vein. And then we felt a strong influence from the energy from punk rock. There was sort of that disdain for popular culture that pervaded, everything in punk rock. And we liked the way that they sneered and that they spit when they're on stage and the whole swagger and all this kind of stuff. We found that, just, I don't know, we just love that energy, you know what I mean? And so we used to kind of reflect that kind of energy too. But
yeah, I mean, when it comes to punk, it's more of a lifestyle, but same with rock and roll and everything is more of a lifestyle. Just take,
yeah.
So you were, but you weren't like a punker, but you were like, had that punk rock attitude.
Right. Especially about like pop culture. You know what I mean? It was an easy target. Pop culture was really very, very lowbrow in those days, and it was an easy target.
Lowbrow. So your first couple songs, you recorded them. Did you ever do anything with them? Did you listen to them? Did you show them to people?
Well, sort of. One of them is still on YouTube. Really, the first proper song that we ever recorded, me and my buddies, is on YouTube. It's called Joe's Explanation. My friend Joe wrote the words, and it starts out something like this. Snot dribble accumulate into a puddle in a pan. Cow-shaped pear dogs, the interface of two immiscible liquids.
Wow. Sounds sci-fi, random. That's fun.
Yeah, he was a character.
That's man, it's hot in here. Yeah, but I guess me and my friends used to kind of do the same kind of stuff. We get together and just get a drummer, and we had drums in my mom's old room, and because she would sleep in the living room, and then her room had the drums, and we come in with a guitar and an amp and just mess around, and it can be a lot of fun, just trying to learn how to songwrite for sure.
Right, right. You figure it out. You just figure it out,
You figure it out, and I mean, I went to songwriting school after that, so then I actually learned what it actually looks like, the structure and everything. But before that, it was just kind of like, oh, these are words and music, and that's kind of all we knew at that time. You put the
Yeah.
words to the music.
And it's a lot, you know. Maybe it's not
Any
everything, but
song
it's a
can be
lot.
just words and music, so that can be what it is, and and then they try to put a structure to it. But any song
Right.
could just be a bunch of words in a row, without any change or without any chorus or anything. So
Yeah, it could be great that way, you never know.
some of my favorite songs are like that. Just the
Yeah.
same, it's like a rap, it's like a beat, and it's just words, 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 and no chorus. So I mean, and like
Hmm.
you said, Frank Zappa could go all over the place with the music and the words, and it could always be a different change. But yeah, Brandon K show is back. We got some people watching, and the main point is to just get back into the flow. We're basically live streaming on Facebook and YouTube, and it's been like a year, but gonna get back into just pretty much trying to do one of these a week with someone on live stream or in studio. And yeah, today we're here with Frank talking about creation. Frank and I did an episode on depression, obsession, Beatles. So if you want to know, our opinion on how to get through depression and obsession, go to dealing with obsession, dealing with depression episodes, because we actually broke that down and got into it. But I had a mentor along the way who said, when you're going through something, just purge it all out, write it all out, write everything that's in your head, and then write down what you're grateful for, and then go do something creative. So that's where this comes in and that's where what I like to do with Frank is like say like, oh, are you working on anything creative? And him and I share lyrics and share music. And Frank is a producer. He's got some good songs on his YouTube. You mind if I tell people about your YouTube?
No, please do.
What's it called?
Frank Aviza is the name of the channel, Aviza. And I have music from all over the last 40 years on it. I don't have a lot. I curate it very judiciously, just, things that came out really good. And I also used to do stand-up comedy, amateur basis. And so I have a lot of videos from not just myself, but other people that I used to do it with. So it's a little heavy on the comedy, but if you wade through it, there'll be a couple of dozen songs on that Frank Aviza channel.
The last year or two, you got really into posting stuff. So you got all kinds of songwriting on there the last year or two.
I had a little hot streak. I went for about 6 months where I was working on something almost continuously, and I pumped out about 5 completed songs. But since then I've slowed down quite a bit. I find that I'm not really working on any idea. You know what I mean? Nothing is really coming to me. And I've always done it that way where I would wait to get an idea, or I wouldn't wait to get an idea. Just eventually an idea would come up. You know what I mean? And then I would work on a song. And then when I finished the song, I probably wouldn't do anything because I probably just wouldn't have a particular idea that I was working on. So it's nice to work with you because sometimes I can say to you, do you have any ideas for a song? And you're like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. And then I can start working with what you have. And then that's my idea that I'm working on.
Yeah.
So the collaboration it's very, very helpful. It's very refreshing. And I like the way it takes the pressure off of me. Like I don't have to write every word. I don't have to write every note. I don't have to do all the producing, all the arranging, all the editing. It's like you get somebody to help watch some of the quality points for you, and it makes it more manageable.
Yeah, and that works for songwriters because we sometimes we just write stuff and we don't come up with the melody and everything. So when somebody can do the music, I bet is there a song or two on your channel where you work with other songwriters?
Only really old ones. I used to work with that guy Joe, like I mentioned him, Joe's Explanation. He and I used to write songs eye to eye with each other. And so some of the old songs are collaborations. I don't really break down with credits on the
Right.
old songs. I just kind of put them up there. So it's not necessarily clear which ones are collaborations, but some of them are.
Yeah, I was trying to think of I guess Lady Jessica, was that one you worked on yourself?
Yeah,
That was a cool one. That had a good melody.
thank you. That was very personal. Oh my
Uh,
goodness, that was like the most personal song I ever wrote. Normally, I don't like to get too autobiographical. It's just not my thing. But that one was very much about something that happened to me in my life, and it's a little painful.
yeah, that's how love songs are. And everybody, writes love songs, but it's kind of like if you write one and put it out, it kind of means like, oh, I had this experience.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't have to. Like, I kind of like writing love songs that are kind of a combination of stories or kind of off track, something that someone might have gone through. But people, even if I put them out, people would be like, oh, he probably went through that.
right, right.
It's a weird. I mean, that's why. I mean, love songs. Is that the only love song you have posted?
Yeah, pretty much. I never was into love songs because I thought it was too cliche
Right.
to write a love song. So I would want to do something different from that.
Yeah, I had that same idea, especially when I was young. Just like everyone does love songs, I want to, explore music that isn't love songs. And but I definitely have written some, and they're like
Yeah,
more offbeat, but they're have that theme.
yeah,
So how when we're how like I said, we feel better after we get creative. Do you think that like our ancestors, how do you think that humans evolved, that creativity was like such an important part of like being happy?
yeah. It's a great question. I love thinking about it. My basic answer is I don't know, but I think that it's not a coincidence that this universe comes with an infinite number of potential songs that can be written. I
Mm,
think that was designed into the fabric of the universe, and
mm.
that there are an infinite number of photographs that can be taken, and that there are an infinite number of paintings that can be painted.
Yeah,
I
every
suspect
like creative project is just infinite. Like, yeah, as far as music and building and even clay and art and painting and yeah, like you said, like the combinations are infinite. So that's why, yeah, you're never really drawing or painting the same thing. Like you and I would see the sunset a different way, and then we'd be painting it, and then it would come out differently.
right,
It's
right,
wild. It's wild stuff. But I believe my theory would be that people they put their mind to something, and it makes them feel better to be working towards something. And so like
hmm
that's kind
hmm
of how we're built as humans. We're we could be putting our mind towards building a house, or we could be putting our minds towards building, painting a picture, but it kind of sets off the same happiness either way. And
Yeah. Well, there's a long tradition of the improvisational music. And then there's the kind of music that you do again and again and sort of try to perfect it, and you play it the same way each time. So I suppose those are two different sort of streams of ways of making music, because I think of like the song form that's prevalent now, and it goes back as far as I know to Ireland, where
mhm.
they came over and they had been working that form, and at the same time people could have been working just purely improvisational music, like in drum circles.
Right, right.
You know,
Drum
and they were
circles, or
going
seeing a
along.
lot of church music, singing at choirs, and they had the like singing in circles, like like yeah, I forgot what they're called, but yeah, like they would just get together and all just sing notes together.
Right, right.
But then at some point, somebody put put it together like this is a song about something, and it has this structure at a certain point.
Yeah, and it seems to really catch on, right? I mean, it seems like, songs with, a chord progression underneath and then melodies floating on top seem to really, become, the number one, musical form by far.
And yeah, like built over time, like, oh, this works best, and it kind of evolved. And nowadays, I didn't get to tell you about this yet, but I have an app where I can just create music just through the lyrics, because it's all has a formula and all that. It's AI music.
Nice.
Have you heard of this?
No.
Oh wow, it's wild. You just type in the lyrics and it creates all the music for you and everything. Um, but what's crazy about that is that's all just like a formula. And then it's like I'm sure a lot of people are kind of like wondering. I mean, that's not music. They would say it's not music. It doesn't sound like music, but obviously it does.
It probably sounds like music.
It,
No?
it sounds like music for sure. I'm yeah, but I'm excited about that. It's like I don't know if you've heard any AI music. Have you been on the internet and seen any AI music yet?
I have not.
Oh, okay. So I mean, like nowadays, we don't. Some of it we don't even know if it's AI or not.
Right.
But it won't sound good me playing it here. But I'll send you some. It's very interesting thing that now AI can create music so fast. Just basically, you give it the parameters and it just kind of posts it out.
Right, right, right.
It's
Cool.
wild stuff. AI can do a lot of stuff. You've seen AI video though, right?
I've seen AI photos.
AI photos, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
hella.
no, they're great. I can't imagine that graphics artists are gonna get any jobs anymore. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? I mean, if I was a company and I needed logos and I needed whatever else it was, I think I'd just go to AI.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, well, there's some people watching, but I can't see. Oh, here we go. I think there's actually. I have no idea how to see their comments. So if you're
No.
here watching, I just haven't figured out how to see your comments. That's why I'm not responding to you. But we appreciate anybody watching, and I just wanted to really check in. We might just keep this short because I really just wanted to check in with Frank here and talk about music a little bit, and say that I really like your stuff on your YouTube channel. I check it out. I wanted to ask you, a couple questions about it, and then continue to just make more stuff and stay creative, and there's there's same thing for me. We're just creating. Frank and I are creating a song called "All in My Head" together.
Mm, it's a good
So,
one.
and I kind of came up with that song when I was way back when in high school and stuff. But even I had a different kind of melody to it originally, and then it changed. But it's kind of like I have the verse. I mean, I have the chorus, and Frank helped me make the chorus like all in my head, like in different ways. But like then when it comes to the verses, like I'm not sure how deep I want to go with the verses. So this songwriting challenge for both of us is like, I mean, we could come up with it musically, and I thought like, oh, I could be creating, I'd come up with some stuff, but honestly, like I just don't know where to go with it. That's kind of why I haven't sent you the verses yet.
Okay.
But here, I'll tell you one thing, which is that AI. Let's see if we can. This I actually typed it into AI, so let's see how AI took it. This is interesting. This will be an example of AI music. And the melody changes, everything changes, and it can also give you examples of lyrics. So I know it's crazy. It is crazy. So check this out.
All in my head, it was all in my head.
Are you hearing it?
Yeah.
And the stars, all the dreams that we made from the start. All in my mind, it was all in my mind. I had visions so bright and so kind. I had dreams of a life so divine. All in my head, it was all in my head. All the sun and the moon and the stars. All in my head, it was all in my head. I had dreams of going far.
One more.
All in my soul, it was all in my soul.
So then he changes it to like all in my soul, all in my heart, but that wasn't really the point of the song. So did you hear that? Pretty crazy, right?
Yes, I liked it. Very good. Very, very good.
It's like
Wonderful singing. Incredible singing.
I know that wasn't that. Obviously, that's just they have pre-loaded singers, and and it's wild, man. It's like they just create it. It takes 2 minutes, and they just create some stuff. And I mean, that's why you could talk about like, oh, will AI music just take over all music? But like, I don't think that's true. But it's definitely a tool.
Right. It's got to be part of the mix for sure.
As a tool, you know, you use it, it can help you write, it could help you come up with a melody, and then, but you know, it's not going to be like a live performance, you know, like a live performance is, you know, you need a human for a live performance, you know.
Yeah. Very interesting, very good stuff.
I saw your friend doing his comedy show out there in Vegas. Do you ever see his posts?
Which friend?
The one we went to that one time at the barbecue house. The
Ellie.
Yeah, you ever see him? You ever see him posting his comedy shows?
Oh, sure. Yeah, he's I think he's got a regular weekly show now that just had their 1-year anniversary.
Nice.
So he's doing good. He had that long run at the barbecue restaurant end. He did them about 7 years consecutively.
Oh wow! And now he's at a different place.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that was, I think, a Vegas record. I don't think anybody kept the show together for like that many years.
Did you ever consider getting back into some comedy?
I would love to, but I'm too tired.
Yeah.
My job kills me. I'm tired all the time, and there's like no way I'm going to start, putting on a comedy show. I can't do it. I'm hosting an AA meeting tonight at 5:30, and that is even like it's like strenuous. You know what I mean? It's like I'd rather just put my feet up and do nothing. But I know that the right thing to do is for me to be more engaged with AA and get into service and, be more integrated with the people in AA. I know that's what's really good for my recovery, and so that's what I want to be doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Being around people tends to give us energy, and even getting out and about can give us energy. So it's kind of like.
Good point. Which is the chicken and which is the egg, that I'm always tired and I never do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Which causes which, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's been my experience is I get up and I move around and I get around people and but
good.
Yeah, just but it's been like a year since I did the Brandon K show. And I just wanted to get back into it because it's kind of like when you don't go do something, it becomes easy to not do it. But if you get in the habit, you just kind of say, okay, I'm going to do this once a week. Like, even if it's, just me talking to Frank on the live stream, like, okay, I'm going to do this once a week, so.
Good. Hey, let me ask you, since it's been a year since you've been on the air, can you talk about some of your spiritual highlights, some of your greatest moments, your greatest times, greatest things that happened
In the last year?
Either in the last year or the last week, or anything that comes up in terms
Oh,
of.
well, what a great question. Okay, here we go. Well, oh, well, okay. So the story gets a little sad, but
Mhm.
that's kind of how we find the spirituality sometimes. But I was doing the show, and I was already, I was doing it every single day, and I was already, had my own challenges between work and relationships and that kind of stuff. And then I kept trying to get back into it, and wasn't quite ready yet. And then, one of the big hits was a friend of mine. You know, he overdosed and died, and that took. I was grieving. It was actually a friend of mine who was in the band that I was talking about earlier in the show. And when I was in high school, I was in a band with this guy, and his name was
Right.
Michael, and he's not around anymore. And that was a heavy thing to get through. But it was when you talk about spirituality and how it's all connected, it's like right away going through that, I was like, he's still here with me. Like, whether it's spiritually, mentally, my relationship with him over the last 10 years was just like on the phone and stuff and on the internet and stuff. It's like, it feels the same. Like, it feels like I know what he would say. I know what he would, I feel like he's still here with me. I feel like all our memories that we've had together are still with me.
Mm.
So I had this major connection with like death and like the spiritual realm, and in the way that, like, oh, death is so scary, but it's like, truly, that person's still with you. Or, when you've spent so much time for a person, had someone in your life for so long, like, they're still there. So that is what I would consider a spiritual awakening or a spiritual connection. And then there's been other death and sickness, and it's kind of like just keeping that connection of like, it's not even a bad thing. Death isn't even a bad thing. It's just a change. So that is a pretty heavy spiritual awakening to have. And I already had, my opinions of death, that, death is peace. But just, yeah, when my friend Michael died, I just felt connected to it still, just like connected to, like, oh, he's still here with me.
Mm.
And then just carry that through to, like, everyone's with me. Frank's with me right now. Frank's with me on the live stream. Even when I'm walking around, Frank's with me. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if people, and I don't even want to say it like that, but like, people could think you're crazy when you start talking like that. But like, I think it's all real, I think it's all real. And it's definitely how I perceive, life and death. So pretty wild stuff, right?
Yeah, it's good.
So we're all together, all together in this life, and we have our connections, and when we're close to each other, we have our connections, and then when we pass, we have our connections. But yeah, we're not. That's, I guess, the message is just to stay connected with your friends, and don't be afraid to get to know new people, and that's the spiritual way. And as far as the theme of the show today with the creativity, it's like, that will always make you happy, to me, and everyone's wired differently, but something creative, something productive will make you happy and keep you positive. And Tony Robbins says, like, making progress is how we stay happy. If you feel like you're making progress towards something, that's what gives us our happiness. So even if it's a song, or if it's a school, or it's staying sober, or it's moving, or cleaning the house or walking and getting in shape, or, you know, I could go on a big list of all the positive things we can progress towards. But like, as long as you're moving towards something, then you feel like, okay, I'm not completely stagnant and hopeless.
Right.
So it's as easy as that, you know, it's as simple as that. So, thank you for watching, everybody. That's the half-hour mark. I'm going to get this post on my YouTube. I'm going to be back to posting. And the real thing about the other whole thing about Brandon K Show was like, I posted all these episodes and they weren't getting seen. So now I have to do more advertising and more like chopping the show up, putting it into clips, making sure that, you know, people can see it through different platforms. And so just putting more effort into it. And that's why I'm here, like committing to, you know, putting a little more effort into it all. And it's such a great experience, you know, all the different shows I did and with you and just, you know, being able to live stream and being able to do anything and with different people. And so it's just getting back in the flow. But that's the show, everybody. I'm going to end the stream now. I forget if that cuts us off, Frank, but if it does, I'll give you a call. So,
All right, buddy.
thanks for watching, everybody.